This is part one of writing resumes. Your resume should be a reflection of your professional brand. So think of it as a marketing device, a professional advertisement. In other words, it should reflect your professional brand. Compare the iPad user guide to iPad's marketing images. The iPad Pro user guide is several hundred pages of detail and summary. It goes on and on and on. I mean, it's great, but there's a lot there. It tells you virtually everything you could possibly need to know about operation and maintenance of your iPad. Fantastic. Mac's marketing images for the iPad show what the iPad can do for the user. The images allow the user to imagine themselves in the picture. A resume that sells your professional brand makes it easy for the hiring manager to see what it will feel like to hire you. In other words, to imagine you as part of their team. So you want to avoid this laundry list of everything that you've ever done as much as that might feel appealing, as though it might feel like you want to include every single thing. You really do need to set yourself apart from everyone else. So too broad and you'll just get lost. What is your brand? What do you stand for? What makes you stand out from everyone else? According to Ladder's resume guide, quote, you want to tell people how it felt to be you. But remember, your resume is not for you, it's for your audience. And we'll talk a little bit more about audience later, but think of your audience as whoever is going to be reading your resume. Not you, but the people reading your resume. But your audience wants to know what it felt like to be your boss. So they want to know what it's going to be like for them to employ you. What future benefits will your future employer get from hiring you? An employer is looking for outcomes, not duties and responsibilities. So the resume is just the first step in the process. The purpose of the resume is not to get you a job, but rather to get you an interview. So again, I'll emphasize this. It should not be an exhaustive transcript of all of your past work experience and schooling. It should not be a catalog of prior responsibilities, staffing levels, or budget authorities, or whatever, every course that you've taken at the university. It should provide your contact info. It should show that others have worked with you. And if you have brand names in your past, it should highlight them. Your resume will be a discussion starter for your interview, and it will provide context for the references that you will provide later on in the process. Generally speaking, there are a few don'ts as well, especially as a communication specialist. Your resume must be absolutely clean. Get rid of the typos. Get rid of incidental language. It must be clear and concise, and it must be engaging to your audience. But at the same time, it shouldn't be confusing to your audience. So you want to avoid typos, and you also want to avoid exaggerated claims that could come back to bite you in the butt later. Obviously, you don't want to be deceptive, but you also don't want to oversell yourself. So again, remember that your resume is a marketing device targeting a very specific audience. It is not going to be every single thing you want to say about yourself. It will be what your future employer or hiring manager is looking for. If the position for which you're applying wants 5 years of communication experience and you have 0, how will you manage that? What skills and experience will still gain you your interview? What is your track record of past accomplishments? I thought this was a bit interesting. This is a LinkedIn report from earlier last year. The emergence of robotics, artificial intelligence, and data science is an indicator that automation is imminent. But there are some things that can never be automated. Skills like communication, time management, and collaboration are all incredibly valuable no matter which role you're in. And there's something recruiters are looking out for in this competitive job market. So communications, good communications, never goes out of style. This is another interesting quote from the report. Calgary and Kitchener are becoming Canada's next big tech hubs. There is an opening for nearly every emerging job in Calgary and Kitchener. Calgary is impressive considering the city has previously relied on the oil and gas industry, while Kitchener is one of the fastest growing markets for startups, attracting top talent. I actually had heard a few months ago that Calgary has really pivoted with the pandemic, and that it seems to be doing some innovative stuff. So we're close. We're close to Calgary. There might be work there. And also, remote work is on the rise. I kind of thought this was happening because I've kept my ear to the ground for remote work as well. So that might be something that you ultimately want to look into as well.